Hey guys, Rochelle here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I'm going to be doing a really fun video showing like my spooky season, or I like to refer to as like season of the witch, but like spooky edition, So I've been seeing other people doing this really fun showing of their spooky decks. So I wanted to join in and just have fun with it. And I went through and started pulling some of my decks, and I didn't realize I had a lot more and I think I still have more that some might consider spooky, but I'm going to stick to what I have, which is quite a bit actually. So you might want to grab a drink because this is going to be a long one, guys. I'm going to try to keep it as short and sweet with each one of the decks, but it is what it is. So let's get started. So the Macabre Tarot. This is one that is definitely like a spooky season, dark season, shadow work, kind of delving into the underworld kind of deck. It is so friggin' cool. Isn't that neat? So yes, those are the backs. This is the box. It got dropped. So, and it was supposed to sound like a coffin, but the battery's going, so I need to replace the battery because that is like really irritating. So yes, that was the Macabre Tarot by Samantha West. I will be putting links down below to all of the decks that I can, find, okay? If they're still all available. So the next deck, An Stokes Gothic Oracle. I was just looking through this yesterday. I have not really even used this deck before. I haven't really used it yet. I wanted to, and I've just not pulled it out. So I'm thinking I need to pull this out because, oh my gosh, this is just stunning. I loves it. And you know what, honestly, I probably don't really even find any of these really spooky, but they're that is so cool. They're spookier. Now, if there was like an exorcist deck, that would probably be spooky, But I'm not saying I want an exorcist deck. I do not. I would not buy it if it did come out. So that is the An Stokes Gothic Oracle deck and guidebook. The Deviant Moon. And this is a box that I had made for it because I didn't like the tuck box that it came in. So I just painted it and used Mod Podge to put some, just a regular box that you can get unfinished from Amazon. I think I bought like 8 at the same time, painted them black, put some glitter on them, made some photocopies of the cards and just pasted them to it. Bada bing, bada boom. You can get way more decorative than that with like little corners and stuff like that. But I don't like doing that if I'm going to be setting it up because it causes problems. So, but anyways, the Deviant Moon. Although this doesn't really feel like a spooky deck to me either. It is definitely spookier. This is just like fun to me. This feels like fun, not spooky. I would say that the Triomphe della Lune has more, not even, just like more grotesque, not really spooky. I did give the Hieronymus Bosch deck that I had away. That one is a little bit more spookier, or that does kind of give me the creeps. But I gave that away to somebody else that could appreciate it more than me. So, yeah, so that's the Deviant Moon. The Fallen Angels Oracle cards. This one, although it is angels, it is definitely a darker deck, which I just absolutely adore. This artwork is so gothic to me. Makes me think of like Gregorian chants, you know? And graveyards and churches. That's all like eerie to me, you know? Yeah, so this one is definitely a spooky season deck, and learning about these fallen angels and the messages. Yeah, that is more spooky to me than cartoon characters. You know what I mean? And this is just so beautiful. The artwork is just stunning to me. Absolutely stunning. Oh, so that was the Fallen Angels Oracle cards. So another one, which I have been working with a lot this month, and I plan on continuing to work with this particular deck. It's the Beloved Dead. And although this is not like spooky as in how it looks, you know, the vintage images and stuff like that, it is something that I feel like more people do, like ancestry work and spirit work around this time of year, spooky season. So, you know, necromancy is very, I mean, a lot of people don't even go there. You know what I mean? So it can be very scary, spooky, occult, which, yeah. I'm going to be using this much more than just this month. I plan on continuing to go deeper and deeper with ancestry work and past life work and all that. And I'm telling you, this deck is phenomenal for that. And mediumship and yeah. I love this deck so much. So I would definitely call this one a spooky season deck. Another one that goes right along with that is the Relative Tarot, also by Carrie Paris. And the other one is an oracle. This one is a tarot, so it follows the tarot structure. And although, like with the other one, these vintage images do not seem spooky to me. However, it is the way in which this deck can really show itself that for some people can be very spooky, and or this is the time that a lot of people do spirit work and ancestry work. So, and find that extremely spooky, or season of the witch kind of October season, November season kind of activity. So this definitely, I had to put it in my spooky season decks. So the next ones I'm going to show are my Insight Editions. I've got 3 of them here that would all kind of fall under spooky season for me. Of course, we've got Supernatural. The whole series of Supernatural is spooky, occult, demons, vampires, ghosts, you know, I mean, any number of things, werewolves and magic and Lady in White, Cain, angels, yeah. So this is a great spooky season deck. Love the major arcana. It's just the minor arcana. And it's not all of the minor arcana I don't like. It's just really, for me, it's the pentacles, which is normally my favorite deck in the Minor Arcana, or my favorite suit, but not in that deck. And then Stranger Things. Although, yet again, wow, if I can get this out, this is not the cards do not look spooky to me. They are super friggin' cool to me. But the nature of this particular storyline series is very spooky. You know, otherworldly, with monsters and other dimensions and bad people and supernatural powers. So definitely, and this deck is just super cool. This is when I really started seeing a change in Inside Editions, their decks. Because I really, really like this deck. I think they did a fabulous job with it. I don't necessarily like the arrangement of the minors that they did, but I can easily work with that. You know, it's not an issue. And then this one, the Tarot del Toro. So this deck is, I mean, the pips and stuff like that are not really super scary or spooky. However, and I don't even really look at this like it's spooky. I mean, maybe a little bit spooky, but it's just more like, again, like grotesque. I don't think that's grotesque. That's really cool. But I also know, like, some of the movies that Del Toro has done. Like, Hellboy. I loved both Hellboy movies. Those are, like, different dimensions and stuff. Angels and demons and horned creatures and different kinds of powers. You know, supernatural powers. But yeah, when we get into these, yeah, that's not spooky. That's just downright frightening. To come up, no, a creature that opens its mouth like that and, nope. It doesn't freak me out in a card. That kind of, it never affects me like that stuff. It doesn't. It's just like, would I use that? Right there's Hellboy, right? And I think Del Toro did Shape of Water. And what else did Del Toro do? Offhand, I can't remember. As soon as I finish this video, it's probably going to come to me, right? But, so I like this deck. It is cool. Do I use it much? No, not really. But I do love the aesthetic of it. So, the Crow Tarot. This is not spooky to me either. However, the artwork is very Gothic-y to me. Gothic, folky, and what crows are known for, like harbingers of death, or some people think that they're, I remember going to a psychic like fair a couple of years ago, and we were looking at rings, and well, we were looking at different things, and I was next to a couple of ladies, and there was like crow rings, or there was crow, it was something crow, and the lady goes, oh, these things are evil. I'm like, no, they're not. She's just like, oh, you know, they're not evil. Crows are friggin' cool as hell, man. But they are dark, mysterious, and they are messengers. So that can seem very scary, right? And you see like these images. So if it's one crow, this is what it means. If it's two crows, if it's in your yard, if it's in other people's yards, you know, stuff like that. So I can see this as a spooky kind of deck, which I just friggin' adore. And I'm not usually an animal person for tarot decks. I like animals in oracle, just not normally in tarot. But that's my own limitation. Moving on. So another one that is not scary, but when you look at the body of work that Poe has done, well, I mean, like The Raven, like The Fall of the House of Usher, which we're watching right now on Netflix. That's definitely spooky. His stuff is spooky, right? So these cards don't look spooky. But when you look at the body of work that he's done, it's definitely spooky in nature, you know? It's the kind of stuff that gives you goosebumps, right? So I think of this. And the backs of these look really dark and mysterious. And yeah. So yeah, the Poe Tarot. As a matter of fact, I just got a book, I think it's upstairs, of like all the classics. It's a hardbound of Edgar Allan Poe. So, and the House of Usher, The Fall of the House of Usher is in there, and The Raven. So I definitely want to read some of those. I'm not really a big person for those kind of books to read them. However, in a short story form, I'm like all over that. That's easier for me. Those are just not the types of books. I'm not a murder mystery kind of person, you know, unless they're just like short stories or watching it, you know, watching the movie, not reading a book about it though. I kind of get bored when I'm reading a book. And another one, Maggie Stiefvater. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name, but the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. Now, I did modify mine, and I took off, I actually made it a lot smaller. And I might end up buying this again with the orange, because I really don't mind the orange, but I really do love it like this, too. And I put all of the, you know, what they are, the little titles in the corners of the cards. I think it looks so cool. Oh, that's the Hanged Man. These colors, everything. They've just got spooky season written all over them, especially without the orange. With the orange, it feels more Halloween-y. Without the orange, it just feels like Season of the Witch, you know. To me personally. But this deck is so friggin' cool. And you know what? You could easily use this, I think, as an oracle deck like this too. And just ignoring what card it is if you wanted to. What tarot card it is, that is. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, man. I have so many beautiful decks. When I do VRs like this or videos like this, it really shows me how much I need to start utilizing some of my, I like fall in love with my decks again. So that was the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. Another one is the Tarot of Vampyres by Ian Daniels. This one is definitely a gorgeous, gothic romantic, spooky season deck. Yes. This is the kind of stuff, if I am going to read, like I loved the Vampire Diaries books, at least the ones that I read. I think I read 3 of them. And although I have not read Interview with a Vampire, this does remind me of Interview with a Vampire. That kind of gothic, older, life and death, you know, Just beautiful, seductive. Yeah, sexy. And that is, I mean, the spooky season is sexy. Also, it is very seductive. It pulls you into that world, right? So yes, the Tarot of Vampyres by Ian Daniels is definitely a spooky season deck for sure. And then falling in that line, I've got, I swear I don't know how I've made room for all these decks and I've still got more. This is Tarot of Vampyres by Charles Harrington, illustrated by Craig Mayer. This one is really cool. This one also kind of reminds me of maybe even the originals. But like in the flashbacks and the modern day, because it shows, I mean, it's modern day and there's like, you know, like historical, like the 1800s, early 1900s, turn of the century kind of feeling in some of these. That is so friggin' cool right there. And you know what? I can also kind of see like Underworld in this, which I loved the Underworld movies with Kate Beckinsale. Loved those. This feels like the Raven to me. Yes, so this is definitely another deck for spooky season. And another one, the Dark Mansion Tarot. I adore this deck so much. The artwork, everything. It feels like Tim Burton for sure. This artwork feels like Tim Burton. But, and what is it? It's the Johnny Depp. Is it Dark Mansions? Is that the name of the movie? With Johnny Depp and Michelle Pfeiffer and I don't remember all of the people in it, but that's what this feels like to me. That kind of time period. Definitely not really modern, more like, yeah, turn of the century, Victorian style, Gothic, trying to be dark, but it really isn't dark kind of thing. Yeah, this is a wonderful deck for spooky season. I love this deck. So that was the Dark Mansions Tarot by Tarot Tech Studios. Another one is the Myths and Legends Tarot. And I have not really used this deck. I haven't really pulled it out because, I don't know, I just kind of, this was a disconnect for me. The artwork, I don't know, it just came out darker and less clear than what I had hoped. It is a really cool deck, and it's perfect for this kind of, this time of year, you know, because it's the myths and legends. It's like Bloody Mary and stuff like that. Sirens, and it's a deck full of that. Although, I'm telling you, I think one of the disconnects for me was the reason, not only did I think that the artwork was really cool, and it seemed more vibrant when I backed this, but I honestly thought it was going to have a better guidebook than what it did. Really showcasing, you know, the different legends in this. Myths and legends. That's what it was about for me. And that was a bit of a disappointment for me. However, it does touch on it. So it's probably me just being overly critical, because you can easily get a card, and then find out which legend it is talking about, and then do your own research. It can lead you on a path of digging into that if you have the time. And it is really cool, but it just came out so dark. Not all of it. I think it even shows up better like on the screen than it does in person to the naked eye. But it's also because some of it is so it's so small. It's so highly detailed in her artwork, her line work, that, you know, my aging eyes doesn't catch everything. It is a really cool. She did honestly a beautiful job on the artwork, but I probably just need to give it a chance. So anyways, that is the Myths and Legends Tarot deck by Taylor. I should put my glasses on. Holtquist? Todd? I think that's what it says. I don't have my glasses here, so I apologize about that, but the writing is so tiny in this also. So friggin' tiny. That's why I thought like a big guidebook would be so friggin' awesome for a deck like that. All right, and another deck is the Dreamkeepers Tarot by Liz Houston. This one, although it's not spooky yet again, the artwork on this and the way that you can use this deck, like with dream work and stuff and nightmares and stuff like that, I can see it being utilized more in the dark half of the year, as well as for deeper introspection into maybe the things that we fear, hence our nightmares and or dreams. And the artwork is kind of spooky in its own right. You know, just a little bit. There's something about it that's very spooky. Oh, this is such a cool deck. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. And it's beautiful. I love the whole feel of this. I could see using this deck with the Fallen Angels deck, and it being just beautiful together. So that is the Dreamkeepers Tarot by Liz Houston. Another one is the, what is it? The Haunted House Tarot, or the Tarot of the Haunted House? Yeah, Tarot of Haunted House. I have said it before, this does feel definitely like a B-movie horror flick, but I love those, right? They're fun. They're entertaining to be spooked. Although I like to watch that kind of stuff. It's like the old Burnt Offerings in Salem's Lot, which is probably much older than some of you that are watching this. Or some of you might remember like that old spooky. Hopefully he's done barking. But yes, this is a cool deck for this time of year, or just for fun, you know, or depending on what kind of reading you're trying to do. But this just feels like a really fun, it's not really scary to me, it's not really spooky, but I can see it being really awesome for a spooky time of year, right? I mean, that is fabulous. I love this card so much. Yes. I mean, some of the favorite images, that is really cool. I love this image right here. Yeah. This one is really cool. Dark, Gothic-y. Oh, I love this image also. This is really a very cool deck. It's creepy and Oh, I say it every time, red rum, right? Awesome. Yes, yes, yes. So, this is a fun one for this time of year. I don't think I really have any that are like Halloween. You know, more of like a spooky, dark decks more. And I've got 2 more decks. So here is the Pythonic Tarot. This is one I also like created one of the boxes for. This is a very like dark goddess kind of energy to me, like going into this time of year, the dark season, but embracing the darkness in order to bring you out of the out of the shadows. The coloring is so beautiful and dark. I will tell you, this deck is chipping so bad on the edges. I've been using this one this month as well, with the Bewitched seasonal spread. That's it. Oh, I love that. Isn't that so gorgeous? Such a dark goddess witchy deck. Oh, I love it. The colors are rich and just delectable and dark and oh, rawr. I love this deck so much. I love the backs. Yeah, baby. And I've got one more deck to show you guys. And that goes right along with that. It is the Black Mirror Oracle, also by Jessica Shaw, who did the Pythonic. This is more showing the actual characters. Like Baba Yaga, Morgan Le Fay, Primal Earth, Helios, the Sun God, Kali. I love this Kali. Mars, Hecate or Hecate, Aradia, Saturn, Neptune, Hephaestus, Sol or Sun, the Sphinx, Odin, Mercury, Scotty. Oh, look at that. That's just beautiful. Nudity alert, by the way. Little too little, little too late, but beautiful. Oh, yes. Isn't this just stunning? I'm just mesmerized. Ereshkigal, who's the sister of Inanna, who kind of also reminds me of Hecate. So there you go, guys. That was my entire, well, maybe not entire, but these were the ones that I chose to look at for my spooky season decks. So just a quick little, let me take you off of here, just to show you all of the decks that we just looked at. I think that's all of them. And that one. So thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you are also enjoying the spooky season and the season of the witch. And I am sending you love always.